welcome to the graphics workshop. As we go more and more, it's time for us to go slightly outside the loop and then see, hey, what else can we do? As you can see, we have been gradually experimenting a lot of tools. It all started with Adobe Firefly because Mid-Journey has already been covered in the past, and we give the recording added. Adobe Firefly. Then we had a deep dive on infographics. The reason for that is that's where we got into the nitty-gritty of how do you structure pretty much different types of charts and things. And Venngage is a very good tool for us to do that. Very simple, very focused, specifically for the Canva. We went deep dive on Canva. Adobe Express was a follow-through from Adobe Firefly. Designs.ai is something that we explored, which is slightly beyond images. It also does videos and social media, most importantly, voiceovers and stuff. So go for it. Again, don't forget to cancel your 7-day trial if you're doing that, because I forgot myself. So you do if you haven't. And then Microsoft Designer. Not many people know about Microsoft Designer. Yes, it is based on DALL-E. So if instead of using DALL-E, which is the OpenAI's image prompter, you could use Microsoft Designer, because it's compared to Adobe Firefly, it has its own advantages. Very simple user interface, and also click and drop. It's very, very powerful, and you can also use text and related elements in it. So very, very I find it much more the the image part. I think Adobe Firefly, Midjourney by far is best, but Adobe Firefly is okay. But no, DALL-E is not so okay. But when it comes to user, if you get the image from elsewhere, and if you want to play with the image, add some text and do anything, I think Microsoft Designer will be a good place for you to do. So that's where we left last time. But if you want to have inspiration beyond prompts, we need to get back to basics. And one of the things which every now and then I check is the Wiki Art. Wiki Art is similar to what you have on Wikipedia. Here you have all the, what we call, paintings and some important information. We will go through that website in a bit. The important thing is sometimes your mind, yes, you can go for a prompt and say, hey, come out with something very creative, or you can see how the artist in the past or different styles was used for a very long time. So if you are into that sort of creative mind, I strongly suggest you go back to Wiki Art, because you are going to find a type of design, you're going to find a type of things that's going to really inspire you. And you could then see how you can use those for your own artwork, kind of a thing, right? It might not be specifically useful for technical stuff. For that you need to go for standard like the Venngage type of tools, like flow diagrams or Canva type of tools. But nothing stops you from for me, the biggest thing is a proposal cover. I know I talk about it all the time. Please don't keep it boring, right? Please don't keep it boring. And proposal cover, front and end, or executive summary. If you don't do proposals cover to somebody, just go outside the block. Imagine the 4 pages that you have a theme of some Da Vinci, or some Roman. If you are doing a building maintenance of a historical building or something, why can't you do Parthenon or something? Keep your image inspiring. We'll have a look at Wiki Art. This is step 1. You're going to get some very, very interesting things how you can do it. This is manga generator. Obviously, my kids are so much into manga, as you can imagine. So there's an AI tool called AnimeGan, and primarily you could put any images and it's going to come. Obviously, this it's not bad actually. It comes in like 10 seconds. So you could choose any images, convert it to manga, and you could see what it does. Because especially if you're working with students and others, and I know your students are not going to evaluate your proposal, but think it through as an illustration type of a thing. If you could have your proposal cover, or any of the images that you do as a kind of a drawing, comic style drawing, what can you do with that? We'll have a quick look on that. This is very, very, very cool, because if you are working in the pharma healthcare industry, there's a lot of times where you should where you might need to reference medicine that's related to a particular part of the body, or a movement related, or if you're an instrument maker, if you want to talk about how it helps, etc. This website was absolutely brilliant. It's called Pose Maniacs, because there is a lot of poses. Plus, most importantly, the poses also go into 360 degrees. You can take those images, and it's also been active. You can take those images, then you could add different backgrounds. And yes, it's very muscly, male, female, but you could take it, and you could then redesign. It's very, very uh, you know very, very important, because, and also what I found very important was very creative way of using that is, in some cases, for example, if you are doing a video, or if you are doing any art form where you want to use movements, but you not necessarily you can pick up those movements. For example, if you want to have 4 or 5 different movements in an image, but you have to do these movements from scratch. It could be very hard for you. Whereas you could use this Postmanics to have this 4 or 5 images next to each other. Then you could freshen it up with whatever the colors that you want. I've seen that in 1 or 2 banners that I've seen, which is very, very interesting. Again, these are out of blue. I understand it's not for everybody, but for somebody, for healthcare, pharma, this is God's gift. So ad creative, we're also going to look into this. It's very, very powerful, specifically for creative ads, not far from what you have on designs.ai. But let's also have a look. Again, similar to that, this also has a 7-day trial, $21. So I'll just add it, it's $21. So these are a few tools. And finally, we are also going to look at auto draw. um, is an Adobe, is a Google experiment. It's part of Google. I suggest have a look at it. Because of this, I went on and had a look at Google experiment website. They actually have done a lot of experiments. We'll also have a look at that as well, because yes, we're looking at graphics, but when you look at graphics, you end up auto draw, and from auto draw you realize, oh my god, there are so many other stuff people are working on, especially Google is working on, Google Creative Lab. And you could have a friend user advantages of what it is. So auto draw is very, very, very interesting tool. You imagine that you're drawing in a piece of paper, but AI kinds of automatically starts to pick up. Maybe he's trying to draw a house with 2 children and a father, mother, living in a garden, and it automatically comes up with some things. Very. So it takes you drawing, and it tries to understand what you are trying to do with the drawing and come out with an image, right? How cool is that? So we're going to look at one tool at a time. Obviously, let's not spend too much time on every tool, because these are, as I mentioned, you're not going to be actively using these tools, but I just want you to be slightly outside the box in doing this. So let me stop the share, and we can look into one website at a time so that you can learn. So yeah, let's get it right. Yeah. So this is Wiki Art, right? Wiki Art, when you click Wiki Art, it just tells you it's nothing but visual art encyclopedia. So when you have spare time, I just want you to go back and familiarize yourself in all these things. For example, you can have the different genres. Different genres. Do you want abstract, graffiti, sculpture, all these things? In this case, let's have a look at calligraphy, for example, right? It talks about, it's Arabic calligraphy all the way along. Imagine if you're working in a tender that goes into the Arabic world, and instead of doing something pretty box standard, if you add something very, very particular to that particular culture, it takes you far. So here You have design. In this case, you have design, as you mentioned. There is a lot of interesting drawings about Da Vinci and others who are here. So again, experiment. All I want you to do is just to familiarize you. For example, you could go back and put a prompt in Midjourney or Adobe Firefly and say, hey, I want you to get inspired from the coat of arms with the skull from Albrecht Dürer, and make something similar accordingly. So you can now, you got the inspiration, and you can just go from there, because I know these are very specific, but you know what, this is a creative usage. So when you have time, and if you do have any kind of specific information, here we go. You have different things. Say, for example, let's have a look at Americans. So in Americans, you have all these authors, or looks like they all very important people. So anything. Oh, obviously, these are just because I click nationalities, and all the people from the nationalities are coming. So let's Americans by nationality, which meant again important people are coming. Let me see what comes from India. So you might find, yeah, okay, you have all these people here. So if there is any important people, obviously the images are there. Artworks, that could be the one that's most importantly you will be using it, right? Or art movements. What are the different art movements that you can go, street art, digital art, your media art, and you can just go and see, hey, I just want to be inspired by this, and you can just go with this. So explore, experiment, there's nothing wrong in doing this, and you might get inspired by one or two things, and based on that, give a prompt and try to get those prompts. So this is Wiki Art, right? As you can see here. But if you try to save the image, I know you might do that. If you try to save the image, it only comes in, you can still go back and save the image, but most probably don't do that. So it's because these are a specific artist kind of a thing, right? So that's the what you call the Wiki Art. Wiki Art, get inspiration, and anything more, you can just take it from there. The other one, gradually, that I want to go for is what you have. Let's go and have a look. This is the AnimeGan. So very, very simple. You go and drop an image from where it belongs to, and it automatically gives you the image. For example, drop image here, click to upload. Because this is my new laptop, so I don't have many of my images. So you could actually go back and see if there is anything else that are interesting. No, I don't actually have anything, but let's see this man and see what it is. Right. So you're going to create an name of an old saint. See, ooh, not bad, eh? Oof. Illustration, so good. As you can see here, it takes the image, and it's like in a split second, it just comes out. So there are two versions. As you can see here, first one is a lot in robustness and less in stylization. This is a lot more in stylization and less in robustness. And let's see what difference two things make. Yeah, I think number two, version two, seems to be slightly better. So as you can see here, you can just add these things, and you could just go from there. In this case, you can see and all the people are searching, and you can just go. So AnimeGan, it just there again. It's from Hugging Face, which is a company that will have a lot of AI tools, and they also have this one. So play with it. That's one. The other one, which I want to also showcase, is the Postman. Let's look at Postman. So you can see here, right? Postmanics is the website, so it has all the different poses. So you can see poses here. You could go back and search specific pose if you want to go for a unisex, boy, girl. anything that you want to go for. Just simply, if you want to add a couple of images, you could go click this and you could say, okay, fine, this is image comes up. Right, this is the image, and you could go back and see different types of the images. Models, male or female, you can choose between male and female. If you choose male, it comes with different way, it comes with female. So it's a kind of in a way, like at the moment it's only male and female. I know some of you might be like, oh no, there'll be more options towards it, but it's an improvement from what it was before. Previously they used to have only male. So what else is happening is you can take that and you can also go back and have a you could switch the image on both sides, and you could also go back and decide, okay, fine, I don't want I want to have any negative spaces, so it takes all the negative spaces. Then you could make it color, non-color, gray, you could make them differently. Grid, if you want to add any grid to it, and most importantly, if you want to have anything else, then you can play with it. So, and also, there are different it kind of tells you what this pose is about. Suppose with one leg raise in a ballet pass with the raising one hand, that's it. So what's the pose mechanics is just here. Pose mechanics is a royalty-free pose reference for artists. The mission is to create free learning material for all people who want to be an artist. You're a small team, it'd be great if you can help us. So typical, so as you can use here, these are the people who are actually supporting them. So this is pose mechanics. Again, if you are into if you want to use 4 or 5 images of a person, one back to back, sitting, standing, walking, dancing, different movements, this is the best place to be. Then you can take these moments and then see what else you can do with that. Right? So that's one. Again, chances of you using, unless you are in a medical profession, will be very low. But if you are a pure-fledged artist, then it could also be super useful to you. So that's the third one that we saw. The first one is Wiki Art. The second one is AnimeGan. The third one is Postmania. But what most probably in this class that you might find more beneficial is this one, which is going to be Add Creative. Again, when you go to Add Creative, I suggest you follow these people because it's important. If you follow these people, you can get more learning out of this. If you want to continue post working on these ad creatives or any creatives in general. So as it stands here is a one and only generative AI for businesses who advertise, right? Generative conversion for ad creative, social media post, text, and creative reports. That's about it. So they do have a video. So if
you add creative AI, the one and only generative AI tool designed specifically for advertisers like you. We're thrilled to have you here with us today and can't wait to show you how our innovative technology can take your marketing strategy to the next level. So go ahead and dive into Add Creative AI, your new secret weapon for high conversion rate ad and social creatives. We can't wait to see what you'll create. Greetings and a warm welcome to Add Creative AI.
Right. So primarily, that's where they are. So when you enter into the tool, this is what you get. Right? This is what you get. So primarily, let's go and stress test. So if you have a website, please do. Again, I've just typed it, whether it might need HTTPS, we don't know. And it's see very quickly, it started to fill these things. It says brand Bachu, brand logo. Okay, it's here, color, select main color. It's picking up some colors. Bachu is a research consulting firm that helps facilities clients accelerate growth. Find how, okay, interesting. It's much better than how we call ourselves. So let me copy and save it before I forget. So again, It's always good when something as simple as this starting to scan what you're doing and then tells you about, oh, this is what you do, right? And it's like, oh, okay, maybe that's the way how we should say. So you could then go back and started to position your ads. Why this is important is because, yes, you can create social media banners and so many other elements, but there comes a point where you just need to, it takes a long time for you. So here in this case, they have something called the credits. Credits is like you can create 10 different images, so 10 different ads images that you can go out with. If you do more, then it tells you, oh, you have to now subscribe immediately to make this happen. So let's go back and see how we could generate something. So here is the creative brand. Come on. Okay, it's very clever. It's asking you to connect all your accounts first, then it starts to create with this. Again, very, very smart. So okay, so for now, let's go at creative. Come on, who's asking me to upgrade? Explore additional credits. VN credit needs you exceed your package limit or season. Additional credits come into play. But yeah, that's all great. But I don't want any additional credits. Okay. Tells me along your monthly membership, if vacation and extra credits you can get from there. But I haven't even started my new one. So let me go back and say add package, add creatives, social creatives. Not that friendly, isn't it? Okay. No project has been created. Create a brand. Okay. Already created a brand, right? You are the one who said no. You can connect. I don't want connect. Right. See your projects and create new ones under the selected brand. Okay. Right. I'm going to leave you to explore this. This is too time consuming. Yeah, when I did the outside one, it was very exciting. So Prime, let's just have a look at the page here so that it might be useful. So what it says it does. It says obviously it's meant for ads, specifically for ads, because you have many tools that does it for social media, but this is specifically for ads. So what it tells you is it can create obviously ads in a matter of minutes, but we did saw it's not that straightforward. It just for some reason it takes time. So generate text and headlines, yeah, which is good because that's always, you might have seen our YouTube, we have like maybe 265 300 followers. You only started about it, but you can clearly see if you know exactly what we're doing, which is YouTube SEOs, and have a right toss of text and headlines, it actually moves up. So beyond that, it tells you, okay, it can also benchmark and tell you how what's the score of your ads, how much clicks are you going to get between, if depending on what you have written, because this is important. Because when you go back to, if you use Facebook ads or LinkedIn ads or YouTube ads or Google ads, etc., it kind of tells you approximately this is going to be your reach, this is going to be your spend, and then very quickly you realize, oh, you already crossed that spend, or you spend that money, or because wrong people have clicked it, right? So this the same thing, video ads is going to be very useful for us now, considering we are pushing on YouTube. So this is it. So let's see, with all these in case, obviously it makes sense to me. I don't know then why they make it hard for people to do. So for startups. These are all the stuff they claim that they can do. AI-powered ad creatives, 14x conversion and things. So it's all great. Just help me to create an ad deck. So that's all we want to use. So we have see projects and create new ones under the selected brand. We have done this. So advanced setup, obviously it wants us to connect to something. So let me see if I could connect to anything, and then if it can go and do that for us. I assume all it's forcing us to connect to something. See, as you can imagine, okay, we are say a loop. Okay, let's do this. Have patient. Okay, interesting. So one ad is connected, so it's we'll save and continue. So obviously select an ad account. This is where we are. Active, select. Right. So help me to generate then. What a funny thing. Okay. Right. So let me go back and play with it properly, because when I played with it outside, it said it was very friendly, but there is something happening. But anyway, ad creatives is there. Let's explore a little bit. But for you, I'm not sure if you're a marketing person, then this might be beneficial for you. But if you're not a marketing person, if you're just a proposal sales person, then this might. And again, the principles is what matters. Again, always try to learn like what these guys have done. What does your brand? Remember when we did a very early on when we talked about brand. What's your brand personality is, and we try to understand what does your brand actually represent, etc. You remember different frameworks that we saw, right? See how quickly in this one it automatically came back and then told us, hey, you know what, this is your brand, this is what you do. It might be beneficial, scan through and see what you can do. So in this case, I have a feeling maybe I'm still in the trial. It's not allowing me, but I don't understand why it can't. What's this problem? Generate, yes. That's what I'm asking you. Social creative. Okay. Right. From branding, team, billing, anything and everything is here. Come on. Right. Let me test it out properly, because again, this sort of tools at the outset was very simple, but on the inside they are making it complex for no reason, unfortunate. So which meant that they are going to, like me, they are going to lose a lot of people, because the best thing is user experience. You come in board, yes, you set up all these accounts, make people easily generate things. But let me play with it and let you know how that goes in. But before we close for today, I'll also share with the auto draw. Even before we begin, I just want to share what the experiments with Google is. If you let me stop and share just in case, because you might be missing this. Yeah. So auto draw, as Google says, it says is a new kind of marketing tool. It pairs machine learning with drawings from talented artists to just do, and it uses the same technology used in Quick Draw. If you know Quick Draw, right now it can guess hundreds of drawings, and we look forward to adding more over time. So this is what it says. So let's go back and test what it can do. So again, auto draw is here. But what I was more curious is like, okay, auto draw comes from experiments with Google. So browse through what you're doing, right? looking for Google's latest AI experiments, just go and understand what they do with it. Otherwise, you can see all these things here. Their AI experiments is here. Experiments for learning, teachers, students, families, Chrome experiments. It's all that very, very powerful. So let's have a quick look and see what Google has done on this one. So obviously, if you have a developer account or some sort of account with them, you express yourself with AI-powered magic compose. Asking for a second date, telling a joke, get help, join waitlist. Right, help shape the future of information. Try experimental AI-powered search. This is Google search, now AI-powered. Can I collaborate? This is Google Workspace, interconnected with AI. Supercharged learning, an AI first notebook grounded in the information you choose and trust. AI music, waitlist, and so many other stuff. So again, if you are into same thing with Microsoft as well, same thing with AWS or Amazon, they are doing a lot of experiments. Just go and understand what experiment suits you. But what are we here? We are here to do a few things. So simply, it's very, very simple. You go back and you just do what you want to do. So in this case, you can go and say, okay, ooh, ooh. So a person, and let's go and say he live in a house. All right, and take a text and say my house. All right, you can change the colors and you could make it better. Still messing it up. Just curious what it actually is going to do with this, right? So let's assume this is your son, right? Score. And you could add any shape that comes with this. Right, I think a proper artist will do a lot more to it. And now you have done this. Let's see what it can do. So before we even do that, I think it's important for you to know what it can do. So how to is here. To start doodling, an auto draw suggestion tool will stop guessing. So you just do, then it will automatically start to see, okay, more or less, if you draw properly like a bicycle, it will guess bicycle. But in my case, it's like, what is he doing? So draw solo with the drawing tool. That's what we did. Next one, you can choose colors. Yes, you can. You can add text. That's what we did. You can also add shapes that you can do. Then you can fill colors. You can do that. Move, rotate objects, what you can do. And that's it. And you could download and share your work. That's about it. So in this case, I've done this. So as you can see here, these are some of the suggestions. I think it comes. So let's, okay, I'm still here. So this is how to shortcuts. Shortcuts is, typical shortcuts that you have that's available everywhere. As you can see here, this is gone outside what you need to do, most probably. See, I expected. So because this is an experiment, just be mindful because when you do these things, when you click back, it just goes out completely. So here, select. This is what you selected. Save image, web capture, seamless. Oh, it just does whatever it does. So download, share, shortcut, artist, different people using different artist thing. Again, be prepared. Now there is an X mark. Click the X mark, it comes in. Otherwise, you will be going out. So share, you can share it to find at this moment. You copy link and you can share it with anything. This is an amazing creation that we have done. It's so great, so proud of myself. I mean, like, it's there, but obviously what it tells you is, if you do know how to draw, let me go back, start over. So what it says is, see here on the top, can you see auto draw? Did you mean this, this? Let's create this. So it just meant, okay, that's what you tried it, right? And now I'm going to do like this. Let's see what it does. Oh, see, it comes with different shapes. It tells you, okay, you have, did you mean this? Did you mean that? No, I actually meant, oh, that's very cool. Okay, you got that. Now I'll add a pizza, or it's not a pizza, pie, and you just go share again. As you can see here, you have not even have drawn anything, but this is a nice blend of human plus AI. So just play with it and then see whether you could come out with any interesting images. For example, if you go to Wiki Art, and you could find some inspiration and try to create the same thing here, and then see what it does. So I'm going to create final stuff here. Going to create, okay, this is a central drawing, and it straight away goes back and try to guess it. No, I didn't mean that one, and it has enough layers in it. So let's see, actually meant a person. So that's it. So it's very, very simple. Again, I'm going slightly out of the box here. So I know this might be either super exciting for you or super boring for you, I know, but these are the 4 or 5 tools. There's a lot more tools, but I thought there's a lot of color gradient tools, a lot of illustration tools that we can experiment. But I think, at this point, AI plus human, you should have got some understanding. I think, what's the possibility, most importantly, how, for people like you and me in the past, when we had, like, okay, we have no idea, we need to rely on designers, we need to draw in a piece of paper, and then we just need to ask him or her to draw that, then we come back correct, etc. Today you could see how, if we cut the clutter and we are doing most of it ourselves. That's as a principles. Again, play with auto draw, definitely. Again, see, whatever the images that comes with you, that makes sense, and then you could add, obviously I try to do it just randomly, but when you try to do it, you could definitely make a table, 2 people sitting down, having a baguette, having a wine, all these nice things. It might not be something that might be useful for your proposal, but definitely it might be useful for you to bring your creative thoughts together, right? And I will take the ad creatives back, because when I looked into that outside, it was very interesting. But when I logged in to just check it directly live, yes, it was not user friendly. But let me go back and double check. When we'll come back in Thursday, we'll have a look at some of the video tools, whether they are AI powered or not AI powered. We can start to look at them and then see how we can also start to use it, from because graphics tend to be not just images, it also is videos, and let's see how we can convert those videos into it. So those are the 4 or 5 things. Again, it won't take a big time. Play with the Wiki Art, the manga create one, and the ad creators, I'll come back to you. But if you manage to crack it, then please to crack it, because I didn't want to go deeper on that. But it's specifically for ads. But next week I'll still continue with that. And this one, it's very, very simple, but most probably you can work with your team to understand what you can do to improve on this, and that's it. So and Postmanics, I don't think it's for everybody. But when my doctor friends and my farmer friends recommended me, it's amazing how it saved them. And also, if you are into motion pictures, and if you are into this pictures where you want a character, cartoon, or anything to move from one place to the other, this is a blessing for you. So again, not sure for everybody, but that's a blessing for you. So I stop there, and please do play with those tools, and anything more we can go as we do. So here it is. You have the Wiki Art, and you have the Postmanics, you have the Ad Creative, and you have the Auto Draw. That's it. So keep it simple. Maybe take 10 minutes of your time, just play with it. And don't forget to create your own anime and then see how far you can go from that. Otherwise, I'll see you Thursday and we'll slowly start to wrap up from next week. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much for joining, and I'll speak to you soon.